Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank. We're going to be right back with this week's Think Tank guest, but as always, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors. So take 3 minutes, listen to all of these shout outs. Remember, these are all companies that I used as an athletic director. They're all great companies. Then listen to our Think Tank guest, and then go and visit these companies. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. First, we want to say thanks to K12 Sports Tech for sponsoring the Think Tank segments. If you're not familiar, K12 Sports Tech helps athletic directors and sport vendors connect through education and hands-on consulting services. ADs are invited to join the AD Think Tank and help influence how companies shape their tech to better serve schools. If you're interested, just go to k12sportstech.com. That's k12sportstech.com. And don't forget to mention the podcast. We also want to say thanks to Hometown. Hometown is changing the game for schools and organizations with their suite of solutions that includes things like digital ticketing, fee-free fundraising, athletic website construction, and a whole lot more. Whether you're a principal, head coach, or an athletic director, Hometown is going to show you how to save time, raise more money, and bring your community together. That's hometown.com. We'd also like to thank Athletic Surveys. You know, in my school, we use surveys for everything: kids, coaches, parents, and the information that came back was almost always over the top positive. We still got to hear from those squeaky wheel parents, but the survey allowed us to hear their concerns, make sure they didn't turn into something big, and hopefully convert them to that 98% approval. But either way, having all that data, that positive data, is incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with that frustrated parent, maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. Let them create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. It's athleticsurveys.com. We also want to say thank you to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and let their team turn you into a social media marketing guru. Whether it's a simple social media post to celebrate a victory or an entire newsletter to showcase all the great things your school is doing, the team at Gipper will have you up and running in no time. It's professional graphic design made easy. Go to Gipper.com to get started. We'd also like to thank Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. Now, I didn't get my master's from the Ohio program, but my assistant athletic director did, along with thousands of others, and it was a great experience. And here's a cool thing. While you're earning your master's, you're also completing 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Check out Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. We'd like to say thank you to Sideline Interactive indoor score tables and video boards. Go to their website and you can schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. Hopefully, you've heard me say before, one of the best purchases I ever made as an athletic director was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Schedule that live web demo today. We'd like to thank Home Campus. Home Campus is the official high school sports platform for a number of states, thousands of ADs, and even if your state has a different platform, you can still be a home campus school. I'm telling you, the athletic eligibility and clearance platform alone is a game changer. Go to homecampus.com for more information, and as always, don't forget to mention the podcast. We want to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards for all the teams, for all the different events, or show off your school's Hall of Fame, go to their website and check out their interactive touch screen video consoles. You put one of their units in your gym lobby or your main school hallway, it's going to be like a magnet for kids, for coaches, how about sponsors and parents? Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check out their great products today. We'd also like to thank Snap Raise. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results? Well, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school with tremendous success, and you will too. Um, our coaches loved it. Our parents loved it. I'm telling you, it works. Go to their website, check out all their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it, and it's Snap Raise. And we want to say thanks to Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years. When I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school. And our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided. Our student athletes loved the videos, and our parents loved the streaming, but there's a lot more. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users, and turn your school into a Huddle school. That's huddle.com. And as always, don't forget to mention the podcast. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the K12 AD Sports Tech or K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank. Boy, we'll get this out. Our guest today is Mike Henson. We're going to the great state of Iowa. Mike's the athletic director at Muscatine High School. Let's get this out of the way. Mike, welcome to the K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Well, you and I were talking before. We're recording this, at the end of August. Some states, they've been back for a couple of weeks. Others are waiting until after Labor Day. It's a busy time for ADs. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Mike, before we get going, we always like to let our listeners have a chance to get to know our guests. So give us a little bit of your background, where you were born, where you grew up, how'd you end up at Muscatine High School?
Yeah, I'm old enough that the story gets longer and longer, but I grew up in eastern Iowa, and Muscatine is in eastern Iowa as well. I'm probably an hour from where I grew up, north of here in DeWitt. But my path through the AD world is maybe a little unorthodox for some. After college, I was a teacher for 3 years and then decided to go into the private sector. So I went in, I have a finance, accounting, banking background for 20 years. And then 9 years ago, or 10 years ago, I decided to get back into education. This is now my 9th year as an athletic director. Second school that I've been at here, but Muscatine's will have graduation rates around 350 kids. So our high school is around 1,400 kids, to give listeners an idea of how big of a school we're talking about here. In the state of Iowa, that puts us about 24th out of 330 odd schools.
Well, again, I always love to hear the stories, the journey, the diversity. I'll bet that finance background helps out a little bit during budget time.
Yeah, I find myself gravitating to that a little bit, of dealing a lot with numbers and making sure coaches are staying in budget and fundraisers, and yeah, the financial piece comes a little easier.
Yeah. Well, for our listeners, K12 Sports Tech is a fairly new company in the last couple of years. Typically, we're joined by Alec Brown, who is their COO. He is literally in the move, not just across the state, but across the ocean. He's relocating from England to Ohio. He is, an American, but I'm kind of filling his role today. K12 Sports Tech was created a couple of years ago by Abby Emerson, who has an incredible background herself. If you missed her interview, I encourage you to go back into our archives and take a listen. And Alec Brown, again, is part of the company. Long story short, K12 Sports Tech works to connect athletic directors with, well, first of all, other athletic directors. It's a great networking platform. But their other feature, which I believe is unique in our world, is they work to connect athletic directors directly to vendors that they are using on a yearly basis at minimum, sometimes monthly and maybe even daily. vendors for things like equipment, for tech platforms, for uniforms, and you name it. I'm not familiar with any other platform where their primary goal is to connect athletic directors with vendors. And it's a unique relationship. We're not talking about a sales pitch. I don't think there's anything that an AD dreads more than that cold call from someone trying to sell them something, and even a cold email. You open up your inbox and you've got 3 emails from people trying to sell you stuff. The AD think tank and the vendor directory, you're not really talking with salespeople. You're talking with company CEOs and developers, and they are literally seeking your input on how to make their product better. We're going to get into that a little bit more, but Mike, share with our listeners a little bit. How did you first find out about the think tank? Who got you connected? And have you had a chance to work on any projects through your think tank membership?
Yeah, I'm fairly new to this. Scott Garvis was my contact. I don't know if you know Scott.
Oh yeah,
I think he's now heading up our Iowa High School Athletic Directors Association. Uh, the I can't remember his exact title, but actually, ironically, he was a athletic director here in Muscatine years ago. So anyway, so he had sent something out talking about K12 think tank and thought it was a really good thing and encouraged us all to take a look. Uh, and so this summer, I kind of browsed the website and looked at some of the things going on, found a couple of things I found interesting. And so that just kind of what got me going on this. I'm trying to, I've kind of been involved in 2 projects so far. One, I already sat down, had a interview or session with, I'm going to get the letters wrong. I'm going to say it was WSN. But it was a media platform that was talking about different ways to set up so you could get your content, games, etc. on basically, I'm saying this wrong, but basically a YouTube channel. You
right.
actually had 3 different channels you're working through, and they're working with us on broadcasting equipment, cameras, and how to broadcast games, do interviews, etc. So again, I apologize if I've butchered the letters that go with that one. And then the other one we're just getting started with, and once again, I'm going to have the name of the company wrong, but I'm drawing a blank on it. But we're looking at having them help us with tracking our equipment and inventory. That's one of the things I think we struggle with is coaches just randomly hand out uniforms and equipment, and we don't have a really good method to track how it's sent out and how it's coming back in, and making sure we're getting everything back in, what we're losing in the process. So they've got a program where they're having throughout the year different sessions on having us be a test pilot for their program, and we're a part of the winter program. So the machinery that we need just arrived this week. So we're unboxing that and making sure we learn how to use the equipment here, and then we'll start it with our basketball and wrestling programs this winter to take inventory and get everything set up. And they've got a really nice software system that I think is going to help us a lot to get things done.
Yeah, that second one, I think the main company is called Helmet Tracker, but
Yes.
it's not just helmets anymore. I think it's called Equipment Tracker, or they have another division in that. Yeah, no, absolutely right. Um, Once again, for our listeners, here's how it works. First of all, to be a member of the think tank, it's totally free. It is free, doesn't cost a thing. Once you sign up, you can choose at that moment to be involved in projects or not. If you choose yes, you'll get periodic emails. It's not like your inbox is going to blow up, but you'll get an email and it'll say, here are some projects that are available for you. And Mike just detailed 2 of them. One is, social media posting. The other one is, for helmet tracker. You can choose after you read about the project, you can choose to be contacted or not. And again, you're not being contacted by a salesperson. It's going to be someone in development or maybe even the CEO of the company. And they're literally asking you, okay, here's our platform. How can we make it better? What appeals to you? What doesn't appeal to you? And you are working as a consultant. Um, Most of the projects, I would say, are between 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes if the discussion really gets going. And oh, by the way, every project that you participate in, you get paid for. You get paid. It's nothing that you're going to retire early on, but it's a nice little thank you for the time that you spent. And as Mike alluded to, many of these projects either involve immediately or can lead to kind of a beta testing opportunity where they're going to give you the platform to try and use and see how you like it, and maybe work out some wrinkles. And then if you decide you like it, and the stories that I've heard have been overwhelmingly, yes, we want to keep this particular platform, then you have an opportunity to purchase it at a very reduced price. So it's a win for the AD. You get a chance to be on that cutting edge of technology and service. You win because you get paid for your time, and it's a win for the vendor because they're making their product better for people like us, athletic directors, on the job. And there's a number of stories about vendors adding features, adding different levels, maybe an entry level, a base level, a pro level, whatever you want to call it, with different features. There's even one story, I just love this, where the company, after feedback from athletic directors, actually changed the name of their product. So this is a real consulting opportunity. Again, it's free and you get paid for it. Mike, anything I left out that you'd like to share with somebody who's maybe considering this?
No, I think that's well said. I mean, in my exam, I mean, I've kind of done, yeah, as I said, both ways there. The first one was a 5-minute survey I filled out to get some background, and it was followed by, I think we had a 30-minute conversation via a Google Meet or Zoom or whatever we were using on that one with one of the salespeople from the company. Showing me what it was and so forth, followed by like a 5-10 minute follow-up survey as to after I heard about the product, what I think. So maybe an hour total in time that I took out. And you're right, you're not gonna get rich on this, and I don't think that's why anybody would do it. But it maybe is I joke that maybe it's a little slush fund that my wife doesn't know about, that's used for some social time.
Right.
uh,
No, no. And again, that's a great way to put it.
and so yeah, so it's perfect. And then you get into the second one we talked about from Helmet Tracker is a little longer. Yeah, that one. But then they also pay you a little more. For they realize they respect your time that you're taking out and the energy you're putting in. And so yeah, this one we're starting now and we'll run through. I don't think it's going to take us a ton of time, but it is going to take some startup time. So probably a dozen hours or so that we'll have invested. But in February, we'll give our feedback on what we thought about the product and how it was worked. And then I think it's going to include an option that we, as you said, we can buy it at a reduced price right then and there. Or if we don't like it, it's just not meeting our needs, we just wrap it up and send it back to them, and there's no cost to us.
Right. Another aspect of what K12 Sports Tech does, I already mentioned the networking opportunities between athletic directors. You get a chance to build your network, and we all know how important that is for any AD, young or veteran AD. Part of their platform is what they call the vendor directory, where you as an athletic director can just go to K12sportstech.com, click on vendor directory, and you can see companies that other think tank AD members have vetted that, hey, here we use this company. It's great. You should try it. And it's not the company saying that, it's an athletic director saying that. And I make this, I tell this story all the time. The greatest new toy can come out on the market. Maybe it's uniforms, maybe it's something tech, maybe it's a coaching device. It could be the greatest thing in the world. But if you don't know about it, if you've never used it and nobody's recommending it, that salesperson that you're talking to, they're just a salesperson. And you're going to be hesitant, I think, to pull the trigger. On the other hand, if someone like say a Mike Henson, sends you an email and says, hey, have you tried this product? It's great. The product itself hasn't changed a bit. It's still the exact same product that that salesperson was trying to sell you. But all of a sudden, here's an athletic director that that you respect, is telling you, you should check this out. That's where the think tank and the vendor directory really hits home for me. Okay? It's that opportunity to have that insider's information, the information that other people might not have access to. So my encouragement is go to K12sportstech.com, click on join the think tank. I'll say it a third time. It's free. Okay. And then get involved with those projects as you choose to. Mike, we've talked about networking. If one of our listeners wanted to reach out and add you to their network, not just to hear more about the think tank, but to maybe pick your brain about how you do things there at Muscatine, what's the best way they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, I would say, and I'd be happy to. I mean, this working with, having done this for 10 years myself too, is that um, we're all here to help each other. I mean, I don't think anybody's selfish enough that we're not CEOs with wanting to keep secrets from competitors. So you're always happy to help anyone any way you can. So my email is probably the easiest, which is simply Mike.Henson, Henson, and then it's at mcsdonline.org. And that's probably the best way. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay. Well, again, Mike, really appreciate you spending time with the listeners today. All the best as you continue with fall sports there at Muscatine. Hopefully, we're going to see you in Tampa in December for the national conference. And if not, I'm actually coming to Iowa in 2026. I'm going to be part of your state AD conference.
If I don't catch you in Tampa, it'd definitely be the AD conference is 45 minutes from my house. So that's one I definitely get to every year.
All right. Well, I'll give you a shout out there when I present. How's that?
Sounds great.
Hey, for our listeners, we want to give you a shout out and just remind you that we upload the Zoom recordings of all of our interviews to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do this segment just about every week, just about every day. We try to share stories and best practices from the world of athletics. So come back and join us again on the next K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Hey, that was a lot of fun. Before we go, as always, we want to give a shout out to every single one of our sponsors, starting with K12 Sports Tech. If you're not a part of the think tank yet, go to K12sportstech.com. We also want to say thank you to Hometown, whether it's digital ticketing, athletic website construction, check out hometown.com. If you or somebody on your staff is still looking for their master's in athletic administration and free NIAAA leadership training courses through the program, check out Ohio University and their online masters. We want to thank Home Campus. Check out homecampus.com. All I can say is you're going to be glad you did. It's a great platform. Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Gipper, become a social media marketing guru. Go to Gipper.com. Athletic surveys by LifeTrack. Let them help you take the pulse of everybody in your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle. As an AD, we were a Huddle school. Go to huddle.com for more information. Snap Raise. We use Snap at our school and our program. It was a great fundraiser. Go to snapraise.com. Vital Signs Wall of Fame. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check out their interactive touchscreen video consoles. Thanks again for listening to this segment of the K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast.